This is a podcast about our lived experience, which unfortunately includes infant death and subsequent mental health struggles. Please take good care of yourself and only listen if this content feels safe for you right now. We'll still be here when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Judith.
And I'm Alina. We both lost babies to SIDS in winter 2021.
In the throes of grief, I reached out to a stranger on the internet and our friendship was born.
In the years since, we've been working hard to survive, rebuild, and navigate the continual challenges that have come our way, including divorce,
Job loss,
dating while bereaved,
moving multiple times,
health scares,
pregnancy and parenting a living child,
starting new jobs, and so much more.
We are tired.
Happily ever after is out of the question for us, but this podcast documents our journeys to happier ever after because we believe life after loss is worth living.
So join us as we laugh, cry until we laugh.
Welcome to As Long as I'm Living podcast.
We're so glad you're here. Do you remember when my husband was going through a really hard time? And
I do remember that, yes.
No, I mean, he still is, but that's not the point. The point is that there was this Mother's Day where I was like, all I want for Mother's Day is a card because I really feel like so few people acknowledge me in the way that I parent all of our children, and it would mean a lot for me to get a card from you. Okay. But then he was not in a good place, and he was like, oh, but a card, that's a dumb thing. Obviously she needs a gift and a date and not a card, but I can't do it because I'm so overwhelmed with my shit. And so he was got overwhelmed. He's like, I can't just get her a card. That's so lame. So then he didn't do anything. So then I got upset. And anyway, the point is I scared him to death. I got upset and I said that cards are really important to me. And I don't know if they are or if they're not, but this one really was. So I'm working in his office today and I found a stack of cards. I guess he bought a card for every occasion just so he always has a card. So I just found this one's a thank you card. This one says there's no right way to express grief or loss, and it's okay not to be okay. When you want to talk, share memories, cry, laugh, scream, or just sit quietly. I'm here and I care. So I guess he bought me a grieving card too. I'm just sitting up there's a stack of cards here from him. From my future self that I just
I can't wait for you to receive those cards.
I will. I'm sure one day I'll be
familiar.
I'm telling you, one day I'm going to be really sad and he's like, Judith, I got you a card because I know how important cards are for you. Which I think is so sweet.
That is funny.
In other news, I have other things I want to tell you, but I'm just thinking being in this office.
Yesterday was your birthday.
Yeah, it was.
Your birthday. You're old.
I hate my birthday. I'm so not a fan. Hate is a strong word. I love my birthday, but my birthday feels very mixed for me. It's very hard for me.
Mine too.
Yet again, the proximity to Aiden's birthday, it's just it's not good. I feel like I just went through the ringer last week and then it's my birthday and I have no energy. And then everyone was like, what are you doing for your birthday? And I was like, I don't even know. I just spent I'm still recovering. I don't know what I want to do. My birthday doesn't really feel like a happy occasion. It just feels like a demarcation of time. Oh, yeah. Wait, you hear? Wait, here's another card. This one, I think, is my birthday card. It's 7. I said one time, I'm just looking around his office and there's cards everywhere. Funny. It makes me laugh. This is funny. I don't even know what this stuff is, but I'm just going to.
Maybe not executing all the way, but it's true.
It's sweet. Anyway, I want to talk to you about something. What did I want to talk to you about? Oh, yeah, I didn't even talk to you on my birthday, but.
Oh.
I know, but it's just my birthday is always a bittersweet reminder of what.
I'm so glad your birthday is also ruined because mine is also ruined by being next.
Yours is also ruined.
Yeah, it's totally ruined.
Yeah,
which feels good. I don't know why, but I'd be kind of jealous if your birthday was in May and you got to have a real birthday.
Wouldn't that be great? But I do not. Maybe we should
listeners,
celebrate
pro tip.
Half birthdays.
Yeah, pro tip, listeners. The year that Quinn actually, I don't think it was the year. Maybe. No, it wasn't the year he died because I don't think obviously my birthday had already passed. But the following year, my family, we actively celebrated my birthday and my dad's birthday, which were both in January, in July that year. For real. We did it for real. There was cake. We were happy birthday, on our half birthdays. And it was really, it was the right call. And I highly, highly, highly recommend that if you can get your family on board.
You should do that. I also, this is the other thing I want to tell you, and this is not important, but I want to tell you nonetheless. Do you see my coffee mug?
Yes, I can see the
Okay,
the
look
top of
at
it.
this coffee mug. Doesn't it have such a vibe?
You know, it's funny. My brain assumed it was a Santa mug, but that doesn't make any sense because you're Jewish.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because we went to we went to a place last week in the mountains and they had like a gift store, and the gift store had a Santa mug like this. I didn't know this was a thing, and my husband was like, "Oh my God, Judith, your girlfriend, like your mug has a boyfriend. It's Santa." He's like, "They need to be a pair." But here's the thing: for anyone who has a Santa mug, it's very hard to drink out of. I don't recommend it. But I want this is the first time we're recording since Aiden's birthday.
Yeah.
We spent so much time talking about Aiden's birthday. I feel I did not give a summary as to what actually happened because we had okay. So here's what happened. Remember, team,
listeners, go back and listen to Invisible String. That's the episode where we talk about Aiden's birthday.
But so I worked that Thursday. His birthday was Thursday, and I worked on Thursday. And the whole conversation we had was about working on Thursday. Here's what ended up happening. I thought I was so fine. I thought, like, look, I'm doing great. Like, I feel well enough to work. I'm going to kick ass. This birthday is going to be, I'm going to be
easy
fine,
peasy.
guys. And it was not. It came to me on Sunday night before his birthday. It came out of nowhere.
His birthday was on a Thursday, I think, right?
His birthday was on a Thursday. It was Sunday night. I was upset about something dumb. Nothing. I wasn't upset about anything. I was just like, saw a sad TikTok or something, and I started crying, and then the crying mushroomed into more crying, which mushroomed into weeping, which led to like heaving, screaming sobs on the floor.
Yeah, you know the kind.
You know the kind. The kind where my husband came upstairs and found me on the floor under a comforter and brought me a teddy bear to hold. That's how bad it was. Okay? And then I was out of it all day Monday, all day Tuesday. I canceled every meeting that was not essential. I stopped answering phone calls of pretty much everybody. I stopped functioning as a person. I turned the lights off and did nothing all day Monday, all day Tuesday. Wednesday, I went to the office. I made a mistake. I made a mistake at work, which, I mean, it's not a big deal, but the only reason I made the mistake is because I was distracted, disoriented, confused. I was out of it. I was having trouble stringing sentences together. I was making just poor choices. It just was not a good version of myself. Then Thursday morning, this is the thing, guys, about birthdays. You think the birthday is going to be the worst day, but it's not. I woke up Thursday morning and I felt better already. I was sad. My husband and I went to have birthday cake and coffee and whatever. I was sad, but I was okay. And then by his afternoon, by 3:00 when I had to go to this work event, I was doing fine. I felt good. I had a good time. I was happy. It's like my body knew I needed to get all of my grieving out earlier in the week, and it just shut me down.
The grief,
and then I was okay.
Lead up is almost always worse than the day itself.
Always. The lead up is always worse.
Yeah.
And also,
the only example I can think of on hard days, I'm talking like Mother's Day, death anniversaries. The only time I can remember the day itself was worse was the first death anniversary. That's the only day.
Yes.
I remember feeling like that day was the worst, was the peak, was that day. Every single other day, including the first birthday, all the other birthdays, the Mother's Days, the lead up was horrible. I was a disaster zone. And then on the day of, I was kind of just like, whoa, wow, I kind of feel like I did it already. I made it.
Yeah.
I made it.
Also, there have been times where it came out of nowhere. Like that first Mother's Day, I kind of forgot about Mother's Day because he died in March and this was in May, and I kind of forgot. And then it was there, and it was so much harder than I thought. Yeah. But pretty much I agree. Generally, much harder for me.
Yeah.
Leading up to it. So, okay, that's all to say the birthday was bad. I did listen to our podcast episode on the birthday on my way to the work event, and it brought me a lot of comfort. We have said time and time again that this podcast serves us as much as it serves you. So
it really does.
I was like, I listened to our podcast on the way in, and I really did feel better. I felt comforted by my own words and the validation that I offered and that you offered. It felt good. It felt good. And to be honest, I thought it was interesting. I made some very compelling points to myself.
You're funny. I like you.
Well, I'm so glad I'm here for you. Okay, so this week we're talking about it's our New Year's episode.
It is our annual horoscope New Year's episode, and I am afraid. I'm going to be honest. I'm scared.
You're afraid to read what it's going to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm afraid.
Well, what we typically do is we look back and see
look
what
back.
you know what, Alina, I think before we do that, I think I would like to ask you, how do you feel this year went?
Great question. 2024 in review. I think it was the first half of this year was absolutely brutal. IVF failures. I was on medications that were making me like a lunatic. I thought I would get pregnant in February. We thought for sure I was going to get pregnant in February, January or February. I did not. I really wanted to have an alive baby this Christmas, this New Year's. That was the plan. Didn't happen. I am pregnant, which is great. First half of the year was worse than I was expecting.
You think that
by
you
a
were going
lot.
to be, you thought you were going to have a baby by the end of the year?
I'm gonna turn that back on you. You thought I was gonna have a baby by the end of this year. You were more confident than I was that I was gonna have an alive baby in my arms at the end of this year. You were 100% confident I was gonna get pregnant in February.
Yes, but what did you think?
I think I thought I had all the hope in the world and all the belief in the world that I would at least be very pregnant, which I am. I'm in my 3rd trimester of pregnancy. Great, so that's fine. If I just look at like where I ended this year, it's great. But like also it was like really bad. Like it took a lot to get to where I am right now, and also like where I am right now is also really hard. It's not
Can
bad,
you give me
but
like
it's
a
hard.
summary? Like let's run through the month.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
January canceled IVF transfer because I got COVID. February canceled IVF transfer because my lining wasn't thickening. March, I was on a shitload of drugs to thicken my lining, canceled IVF transfer because my lining didn't thicken. And I was a crazy person who literally did not sleep for 10 days in a row. And I think that's the most miserable I've ever been in my life was March. Most physically miserable I've ever been in my life was March 2024. April, we took a break. May, canceled IVF transfer that turned into an egg retrieval because my lining didn't thicken. But we did get some more embryos, which was great. And then I got pregnant in June. July, August, I was tired but happy. The pregnancy was going great. September was hard. Quinn's birthday, I feel like that's when like my anxiety. September, I feel like is when my pregnant after loss anxiety really kicked in. October was wonderful. I had a very smooth sailing mental health month in October. Then November, if you listen to, there's an episode coming out in a couple weeks where I talk about everything that happened with the baby in November. There was some scares with the baby in November. That was extremely stressful, but she's okay. She's fine. And now December has been, I don't know, up and down.
It's so interesting because when I look back on this year for you, I think it's a happy year, but in actuality, it was pretty bad for the first month.
Yeah, it was. It's really bad. Well, no, I mean, again, like if I look at the overall year, I have to say I'm ending it higher than I started it. I have to say that. I am.
Oh my God, significantly. You're ending it higher. You're ending it higher than you've been probably in 5 years.
I
4
agree.
years.
I agree. It's just I think about like everything that I had to go through to get here, and like it was not good. Like it was bad. I'm serious when I say March of 2024 was one of the worst months of my life, and I'm including the months of grief. Like it was so bad. The IVF drugs they had me on were so bad that they took me off of them for my mental health, not for physical health.
Okay, so if you had to give yourself, I would say the first half of the year for you would probably get like a C, like a C.
D plus, maybe C minus.
A D plus, a C minus. Yeah. The second half of the year, I would say, would get you like a B.
I'm going to go B minus just because of all the anxiety, but that feels sad to say because I've also been so joyful, but it's been joy and stress. And stress.
Yes, but in general,
I think B minus.
Okay, B minus. Okay, B minus.
Totally a passing grade. Not a grade I would have been happy with at school. I would have wanted it to be a little bit higher.
Well, your son is still dead, so.
And my son is still dead, yeah. So that's the overall grade. But overall for the year, I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
Which is sad because I am so happy, but I'm going to give it a C because it was really bad.
Okay, but let's just go back to say that the year Quinn died was an F.
Oh, it was F minus, minus.
The year after was maybe a D.
I don't know. That was the year that I met my husband, and I feel like I was like very in
So
a
maybe
love bubble.
maybe that was a B.
That might have been a B. That year might have been a B.
And then
Although
now
I
we're
also
to
got my heart diagnosis that year, and that was
But
bad.
I still think that you're falling in love with Tyler outweighed the heart diagnosis.
I agree. I think it did. Yeah. I mean, by the end of that second year, we were already planning to get engaged. Like, we knew that my heart was actually okay.
Yeah.
Like, I had some tests. So, like, I'm going to go with a B for that year.
And then that next year was the year that you got married.
Right. But also the year I did a bunch of failed IVF retrievals.
Wait, right. That was a bad year.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Wait,
I mean,
there were so many years. The first year was an F. The second year was like a B. The
Yeah.
third year was what? A D? A C?
Yeah, I'd give it a D.
Because
D-.
I actually think the falling in love was better than you getting married. Like, I think that there was so much going on with the IVF and the whatever. Okay. And then this year we got a C. Okay, guys, we got the whole.
And I just sit here, and I know we're going to get into next year, but I just sit here and I'm like, I'm going to have a baby next year. Like, is she going to be alive? Like, will I end this year next year with an alive baby in my house with a male husband and I just like, it's just like crazy. Like,
let me tell you what you have to look
next year
forward
has the potential to be like an A- year. Not an A year, because my son's still dead, but like it has the potential to be an A- year, and that's like really scary.
Let me tell you what you have to look forward to. This morning, my son is wearing a bunny outfit. Okay, it's an outfit with bunnies on it. But then my daughter wanted to match, but she doesn't have a bunny outfit.
Oh no.
She only has a bunny sweatshirt. So she went to school with no shirt on, but a bunny sweatshirt. And so then I had to send a message to the teacher saying, like, you might notice she's naked underneath her sweatshirt. So that's what you have.
I just didn't want to fight that battle this morning.
I didn't want to fight that battle.
She's wearing a bunny sweatshirt as a shirt.
She wanted to be a bunny, and I didn't feel like it was kind to deprive her of that. Okay, so let's read your horoscope for this past year and see how it compares.
Well, no, I want to ask you first. Or are we doing
but I think it's confusing.
So we'll do all of me first. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2024, it told me that. I'm going to try to like shorten the part where we go last year. But although, listeners, I will link in the description last year's episode if you want to listen to the whole predictions for last year. This says that my personal interests are evolving. I'm a hard worker. Saturn's retrograde from end of June to mid-November, which will give me a chance to let loose and go with the flow. I did do that with my pregnancy. I was just like, either this baby's going to live or they're going to die. That's true. That's probably not what my horoscope meant, but that is how it is how it manifests in my life. It says, if you've been hiding any feelings from yourself or anyone else, prepare for them to be exposed, which I do think a lot of trauma has reared its ugly head during this pregnancy. So that all makes sense. And yeah, so overall, that's the gist. It says that
it didn't
job
say
is going to go well, which it did.
Did it say anything about how the first half of your year was going to be harder? No. Well,
it
is
does not
just
say anything about that. It does not say anything about that. Okay. 2025, I'm so scared. Oh my God.
I have a good feeling, but no, don't trust my
breaths.
feelings. But I have a good feeling.
Okay. Your ruling planet Saturn was spending time with creative, dreamy Pisces at the end of last year. That's, 2024. And will continue this journey for part of this year. The cosmic combination energizes your house of communication, your intuition will increase, and your imagination will lead to a more flexible communication style. Explore different ways to express yourself throughout this year, and it will benefit many aspects of your life. Get excited. So to get excited. A Saturn retrograde period begins mid-July after Saturn moves into dominant competitive Aries. This retrograde cycle offers you some breathing room and encourages you to reflect on the past several months, identifying areas of your life that could use a fresh start. Okay.
Okay, so the baby that'll be right around the time the baby's in the passing the SIDS window.
Coming out of the SIDS window, exactly. Okay, all right. Interesting. Okay. As the sun visits your disciplined sign at the end of December, your happy birthday, approaching birthday, ambitious and determined Capricorn. You're often understated, preferring to keep your head down and work towards your goals. However, you may come alive unexpectedly during your birthday. This would be my 2026 birthday. Most people may not know you have a wicked sense of humor, especially your quick sarcastic wit, or that this is one of your favorite times of the year. Well, it used to be before my son died during this time of year. Sharing more of yourself with others will expand your social circle and help you form deeper connections, making your life more meaningful this year. That's nice because I do feel like I've very much retreated socially since Quinn died. And so I like the idea of having enough energy to expand my social life.
I also think that you don't have any friends where you live now, and maybe you're going to make friends.
I know. I do kind of hope I'll make like mom friends, like at the library, or I don't know. I don't know how people do that. That's what I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it says, in love, my ruling planet Saturn is going to spend the first few months of the year in sensitive Pisces in my communication zone, and I'm going to find it easier to express my emotions. I'm going to be intuitively connected with my partner, picking up on the subtle nuances of what they might not say, but still want you to know. So that I guess my husband and I are going to be very connected during this time leading up to the birth of this baby and right after she's born, which is lovely. Love that. Wow, this is going great for me.
You have a great year ahead.
Now I'm even more scared. Work. It says, so first of all, I'll be on maternity leave for like a good chunk of this year. So let's see what this has to say. Your ruling planet Saturn governs your drive and motivation as it travels through creative Pisces in your communication zone for the first 5 months of the year. You'll be free to blend your imagination and intuition in new ways when approaching work responsibilities. This receptive transit encourages you to be more of a dreamer about your career, embracing the incredible possibilities that come from believing in yourself and manifesting positive outcomes in your work life. Okay. Whatever.
If your business is going to do, like, is your company going to be okay?
It seems like they are going to be okay. I have a better feeling about it now than I did like 2 months ago. I'll put it that way. But I don't have anything firm. First of all, nothing firm I would share in the podcast, and also like nothing really firm at all in real life either.
It sounds like you have a very stable year ahead.
I kind of feel like I do. Am I crazy? I'm nervous, but I like it. I'm happy about that. I think it sounds good. It sounds like the year I need with a new baby coming. It doesn't say anything about learning new things through challenges, which is like...
You deserve it, Alina. If anybody deserves it, it's you.
Oh my God. I am going to make it through this year if it kills me. I was listening to that song this morning.
I'm so excited to meet your baby.
I know. I'm so excited too. Okay, wait. I have to tell the listeners this. Okay, so I got a prenatal massage the other day, which, first of all, this is my first prenatal massage ever. I would have gotten one with Quinn, but it was a COVID pregnancy and whatever. Anyway, so my mom got me a massage. And it was wonderful. It felt so good. And also, the masseuse was intuiting about this baby's energy based on, I don't know, the way she felt in my body. I don't know what was going on. But I just feel like this is the right episode for me to tell that story because we're talking about like total bullshit that's also like maybe true. So here are the massage therapist's predictions for this baby. She thinks that this baby is going to be a redhead. Now, if you've seen me, I am not a redhead. I have brown hair. My husband is bald, so he has no hair. He does have some red in his beard, and I do have a redheaded cousin and a redheaded aunt. So, like, you know, it's not literally impossible, but also highly unlikely that this baby will be a redhead. But that's what the massage therapist said. The massage therapist also said that this baby is going to have a strong personality, which I'm going to go ahead and say tall personality, because that's what we like to say on this podcast. I think this baby's going to have a tall personality. I actually do agree with that. I get tall personality vibes from this baby, which I did not get from Quinn. I don't think Quinn would have had a tall personality. So I think this baby's going to have a tall personality. She also said that this baby loves when I sing to her, which I have never done in my life. So I thought that was interesting, but I will try maybe singing to her now. Maybe she'll like it. She also said this baby is going to point a lot, which I thought was a very interesting and odd prediction. And then I told my mom what the massage therapist said, and my mom said I used to sit in the stroller and point at stuff and ask what everything was all the time, and it used to drive her crazy. So perhaps this baby will sit in her stroller and be like, what that? What that? What this? What this? Just like me. So this baby is going to be a pointy redhead who likes to be sang to with a tall personality. So we'll see.
It sounds like a great kid.
Yeah, I'm into it. I actually get the feeling, I was saying to my husband last night, like, I feel like this baby has like very similar energy to me. Like, I think I'm going to be like parenting myself as a little girl. Like, I had a very strong personality as a kid. I had a lot of opinions. I wasn't difficult, but I was very like opinionated. But again, not difficult, but opinionated. Like, I wasn't like chill. Like, your son, Judith, is like so chill. Like, he just like vibes. And like Quinn like was very like vibey. He wanted to be involved, but he didn't need to be the center of attention. I get the impression that this baby is gonna want to be the center of attention.
Great. I have one of those, and she's very
I
fun.
know. I know.
Yesterday, she came over to me and put my face in her hands and said, "I love your earrings." She's very funny. I love
Mommy, you are so cute.
You're so cute. My husband always likes it when she does things like that because he's like, it means that we do that. She's like watching us and learning that, which I think is good.
Really sweet.
Yeah, because we have all sorts of shit, so she could be learning all sorts of things from us. Sometimes she's
learning. That's very true.
Well, it sounds like you have a very good year ahead.
Reading this is giving me very good vibes for the year. So that
is I want to read mine. I want to read
2025. If any of you were Capricorns in 2025, I just gave you your year. If you're not a Capricorn and you're not a Sagittarius, we're about to do Judith, who's a Sagittarius. I am going to link in the description how you can look at your horoscope and join us. We'll maybe have a little chat on Instagram about this week. I would love to do that. Are you ready?
I saw a TikTok recently with Bill Nye the Science Guy, and someone was asking him, like, is there any truth to astrology?
And is there? No.
Well, he was like, no. But he's like, if there was any, the only thing I could explain is that, like, when you were born in different times of years, your parents were reacting to what was going on outside. So if you're born in the summer months, maybe your parents are more relaxed. If you're born in the winter months, you know what I mean? He was like, maybe if you're born in January, your parents are more uptight because the weather is cold or something like that. He was like, maybe it's possible that translated, but he does not seem to believe in it. But you know what, Bill? I don't need you to believe in it to believe in it.
I don't even need to believe in it to believe in it. I only like 1% believe in it, and I still believe in it.
Well, so, you know what my mom believes. You know what my mom believes. My mom believes. My family. Again, guys, I grew up very religious. My mom is a religious person. She's not like a religious person. Like not like, you know, some people are like religious, like strict religious. She's like religious in her heart religious. You know what? She's a faithful person. I think that's a better word to say.
Yes. She's spiritual and faithful and happens to have an actual religion, but also I think regardless of whether she had been religious, she would have been spiritual.
In God. Yes. She deeply believes in God. So she thinks, because you guys all know I have an astrologist. I have an astrologist.
I can't wait. We have to talk about what your astrologist said in this episode too. Let's not forget.
But I have to say this. I have an astrologist, and I have an astrologist because when Aiden died, everything fell apart and I did anything. Like I would go to anybody for help. And I got this recommendation from this person, and I found out the New York Times wrote her up. So she's a illegitimate astrologist. Okay. And you know that line in the Taylor Swift song that says, I told you this, that says like, I'd give my last coin for someone to tell me it would be okay. Remember that? Okay, guys, that's how
coin for someone to tell me it'll be okay. Prophecy.
That is the line. That's how I feel every time I see this astrologer. Because like, I know that there's no such thing as astrology, and yet I go back because I need to hear it'll be okay. Anyway, this woman has accurately predicted all sorts of things in my life. And I'm not just saying that. She's like got like an 85% correction, like success
down
rate.
to like dates on the calendar.
Down to dates on the calendar.
It's insane.
And I went to her when I was pregnant with my son, and I asked if he was, because he either could have been a Leo or a Virgo. Mm-hmm. And she said that she thought he would be a Leo, and she told me all about what she thought he would be like. And then he was born on like the last day that you could be a Leo. So my point is,
he had to be born pretty early to be born as a Leo.
Yeah, his due date was September 4th, and he was born August 20th. Yeah. But she told me that I'm a fire sign, and all my children will be fire signs, and they are. Aiden's a Sagittarius. My daughter is Aries, and my son is a Leo, and my husband's a Libra. Poor guy. That's what every time I talk to her, she goes, "Oh, your son is Leo, your daughter is blah," and she goes, "Oh, and poor guy, your husband's a Libra. He's stuck with all of you." Anyway, that's all to the side point. My point is, I don't remember what my point is. That I have an astrologer.
Yes, your mom
And
is a faithful person.
oh, my mom is a faithful person, and my mom believes that the astrologer is that this is God's way of communicating with me while I'm not talking to him.
Aww.
She feels like, because I've kind of lost my way in my relationship with God, and I've maybe have struggled with like being, I don't even know if angry is just like losing confidence in him and his abilities. And so my mom believes that the astrologer, she's like, maybe the astrologer is God's way of communicating with you that everything's going to be okay. And that, like he's a little whisper in your ear that you need. So,
I actually love that. My mom,
guys, God is manifesting himself through a one-eyed astrologer from upstate New York.
Totally tracks.
She's great. I really like her. Okay. What is it?
All right. So let's look back at your year. How do you grade your year? Judith's year in review 2024.
Okay. Let's see if I remember. In January, I found out that I was pregnant with my son on Christmas, 2023. So I went into January being pregnant. And the pregnancy, it's always hard to be pregnant after loss. And my husband started a new job in February. And I spent most of the year not feeling great physically and just kind of being very responsible for things at home because my husband was working his new job and, he's struggling with all the things that he struggles with. So
that was hard.
That was hard. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
So, your year was hard.
Well, being pregnant is hard. It's just hard. So I would say that, and then a few weeks after my son was born, my husband basically told me he doesn't want to do.
He's making a career change.
And that job didn't work out. So, that was definitely throwing me for a loop. So that was hard. The whole year, honestly, was hard. It's not like, I feel like one of the things that I do is I tell myself, yeah, but it wasn't as hard as the year before. I like invalidate my hardness of a year. But if for the sake of this conversation, I'm just going to like lean into it and say like, validate, like it was hard. This is not the year I dreamed of. When I thought to myself, like, I want life to be better. I want things to be good. I did not envision this year.
Yeah.
I don't want this year. I want better than that. I need better than that. I want a different outcome for the year. Now, I will say that having my son and seeing how beautiful the relationship between my husband and my son has been really healing. Yeah. And I love watching him be a parent because he's such a wonderful parent. And I love seeing how much growth he's been through. And it's like been really fun recently to parent with a partner that is fully present and enjoying parenting. So, and I feel like in some senses now my family is kind of complete. And, so there's a sense of peace of knowing I never have to get pregnant again. It's like a sense of peace of knowing like, okay, like this is it. We can settle into this and not have more transitions, more changes. I'll say that I decided that I was going to get a different job. So early November, I began a big new job. And I actually feel like I really have been enjoying it. So whenever I feel stressed because things are still hard, I like lean into my job because it's this is the thing about my job. I am not responsible for any life or death decisions. So all the things that I'm responsible for, to me, I can understand how some people would be very stressed. To me, these are like fun problems to solve. There is no consequence. Like I don't want I don't have any lives in my hands. So whenever I feel like I can't fix the problems in my life, I like lean into the fact that I can solve problems at work. And I enjoy solving dumb problems. So, and then, yeah, I hope everybody would agree that the only thing that matters at the end of the day is like life and death. Money doesn't matter, whatever, all things. So thankfully, I'm not a doctor. Imagine if I was a doctor, that would be very stressful. So, the year was not what I would hope for, but it was not the worst year of my life. My son has brought me a lot of joy. My children bring me a lot of joy. I'm incredibly proud of myself, where I am in my career, and I enjoy my career tremendously. So there's a lot going for me, and yet there are certain things that are still there. There's certain things that are very hard.
You say all the time.
Wait, guys, I found another card.
Aw. You say all the time, Judith, that things can be hard or bad or both. And I actually used that with my husband last night. He was having like a big feeling, and I was like, is it because it's hard, or is it because it's bad, or is it both? And he was saying it was because it was hard. And I was like, okay, so like we can deal with that. So like, do you feel like this year was hard or bad or both? Or neither, but I don't think you're going to answer this.
This year was without a doubt incredibly hard.
Yes.
Very hard.
Yes.
And I think there were portions of it were bad, but not all of it was bad. There was some of it that was really good. And I have to say, there were parts that were really easy. Like I don't want to put that aside. My pregnancy was very easy. My labor delivery, very easy. My postpartum recovery was very easy. And I don't want to discount that, because I find when I'm in these negative spaces, I'm so fixated on all the things that are so hard that I don't really fully explore the things that come to me that are easy. Finding a new job was easy.
Yeah.
And it just landed in my lap. Like I got pregnant easily. The delivery, I know people who have had horror stories in their delivery. So I'm in a mind space now where I can say that things have also been good. And there are some things that are easy. It's just, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I feel like at least I'm on a path towards it.
So and what grade would you give this year overall?
Okay, great question. Oh, what do you think?
Well, first of all, the year Aiden died was an F.
Mm-hmm.
The next year was probably a D minus. Although your daughter was born, but it was really
bad. I would say it was an F, and then it was, but I love her. She's the best.
I think it has to be a D minus because she was born, but it was
so
really
bad. But she is the best.
But then the next year I think was decent. Maybe like a C plus, C minus.
Yeah, a C minus is good.
Okay,
and
C
then
minus.
then was that this past year?
This year, yeah.
I would give this year a C.
Okay, we're trending up.
I actually agree. As opposed to you, who had like up and down and up and down, I feel like I went from down to very, very slowly up, but I never had a B again. Like I haven't had a B.
Yeah, you didn't have a falling in love year.
No,
There's something really special about that.
There is. Oh. There is. I've tracked upwards, which I'm very happy about, but it's been like a slow upwards, and I do think that it's possible that this year I could have a B year. I really think that this year it's possible. It's in the cards for me, I think, because I'm not going to be pregnant. I'm not going to have a newborn. Like, my husband
is... Is this going to be our A minus year, Judith? Is 2025 our A minus year?
It has the potential. I really think this could be our year. Now, don't make me eat my words.
An A minus year. That's what we're hoping for. A minus year.
I would be happy with the B plus. I really would be. I would be happy with the B. I would be happy with the B. Okay, so let's hear it. Astrology. Okay. What do you got?
So going back to 2024 for Sagittarius, it says Sirius Saturn is affecting your 4th house of home and family matters as it travels through Pisces. You're going to be dealing with a lot of domestic duties and obligations throughout the year. Matters that affect your house and home, immediate family members, and things you need to live will require increased discipline and attention from you in 2024.
It's got to be a fucking joke.
Is this what we read last year? This is like, it literally, that's real.
That was last year's, right?
It was last year.
That is true. Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Oh my God.
Okay, then what happened? That's exactly what happened. I did everything at home.
Early in the year, a lot of your strength lies in your ability to be patient, but your challenges will be significant. You didn't be very patient. Oh my God. Okay. Jupiter's partnership with distracted Gemini means that being able to shut out those distractions long enough to listen to your inner voice will be the key to success. With your busy, adventure-filled life, there will always be something or someone trying to get your attention, but there's a lot of value in tuning out the world and focusing on your top priorities for the year. That reminds me of when there was just like a shitload of shit happening in September, and you were just like, I am just going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to get a better job, and I'm going to just do it. And I want to take a step for my career, and I know it's a crazy time to do that, but I'm just going to do it because it matters and I want to do it.
That's exactly
right?
what I did.
Okay. It says reevaluating your priorities will be important during the Jupiter retrograde cycle in November and December. What does it take to keep you happy and fulfilled, Sagittarius? If you don't know the answer, it's time to do some serious soul searching to find it.
So the horoscope agrees. Not a great year.
Not your best year. Yeah.
Not a great year.
It does say that in love, it says you may go through a period of feeling alone or unsupported early in the year, but you should be able to get what you need from love. It just might not be easy. And then for work, it says, while it's true that more of your, oh my God, this is like so accurate, it hurts. While it's true that more of your time and attention will be paid to your home life this year, you still got to make money, right? It says it's time to think about new and improved career choices. It's time to start laying the foundation for success and financial security to better the future for yourself and your family. Wow.
Okay. Give me what's the good news? What's
That's
this
it.
year?
That was last year. Now we got to head into 2025. Are you nervous? How are you feeling?
I am nervous because that was accurate.
Okay. Deep breaths. As the fiery archer, your outgoing and adventurous nature is powered by Jupiter, your optimistic planet. This year, Jupiter joins forces with Gemini and Cancer, bringing opportunities for growth and transformation. Jupiter's expansive energy in your partnership zone enhances your desire for connection and interaction, while its influence in your 8th house, whatever that means, deepens your emotional experiences and intimate relationships. Embrace this chance for healing by allowing yourself to be vulnerable with your feelings.
That's good news. That's good news. This is not bad.
Okay, this says you thrive on engaging with people and exploring new places, but be mindful of these year's 3 Mercury retrograde periods because communication and tech glitches could interrupt travel plans, leading to delays, cancel reservations, and other inconveniences. Okay, so this is when you cannot travel. Are you ready? March 14th to April 7th, July 17th to August 11th, and November 9th to 29th.
Okay.
That's when you can't travel.
Wait, I was planning on traveling in November.
Okay, well, it's not recommending it. You're going to get your communications and tech glitches are going to throw a wrench in your plans.
Okay, actually, interesting you should say that because I was kind of on the fence of whether or not I should go on this family trip for my niece's bat mitzvah, and it sounds like I should not go.
If you tell your family you're not going on your niece's bat mitzvah trip because this random astrology.com website said that Mercury will be in retrograde, they're going to think you're absolutely nuts.
Okay, here's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to think I'm insane, and I'm like, you're right, and I'm going to go. And the entire time, things are going to happen. And the entire time, I'm going to be like, I told you guys, I told you.
Mercury was in retrograde.
I told you.
This does seem like something that you should ask the astrologer about next time you meet with her. Be like, can I go on this trip?
I will. I'm not going to go. I was already on the fence. I'm not going to go.
All right. The last thing it says in the general section here is that the sun will highlight your first house from the end of November to the end of December of 2025, making it
What's in my first house?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We don't understand astrology enough to know what any of this means. The sun will highlight, I don't know, the perfect time to seek deeper connections and expand your horizon. Embrace the journey of discovering new places, but apparently not traveling in November, but okay. And meeting people who can offer a fresh perspective on the world and yourself. While some might rush to destination, for you, the journey is where the real magic happens.
So does that sound bad or good? I can't tell.
I would say mine felt very overall positive. Yours, I'm not feeling overwhelming positive vibes, but I'm also not getting stressful negative vibes like we did from 2024. It kind of feels like you're basically you have work to do, but that the work will pay off. That's kind of how I'm reading it.
Send it to me. I want to dig a little deeper.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, guys, I have a meeting about something in 3 minutes, but I do want to tell you this one story, Alina. This
I
is
also
an
want to read
important
your
story.
work horoscope.
Oh, okay, please, let's do that.
Okay.
That's more important.
It's going to prompt you to read. So it says at the end of last year, meaning this year, 2024, you were likely reassessing your dreams. This reality check on your career and financial goals may have brought a dose of realism, leading you to adjust your aspirations. They still influence you at the start of the year. You're going to be facing increased responsibilities and duties. If you start to feel overwhelmed, tap into your subconscious for guidance.
It's true. I do feel increasing responsibilities and duties.
I very much get the impression that you are going to trust your intuition, trust your emotions. I think you're going to have a good big year for yourself. It's not going to be like easy, but I think it's not going to be bad. That's the impression I'm getting. It might have hard parts, but I don't see bad for you in this horoscope.
Okay, so send it to me because I need to do some digging because I want to make sure I fully understand it. And then, but it doesn't sound horrific. It's possible that I will get a B- year.
Oh my God. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be great. I want to tell you the story and then I really have to go, but I want to tell you the story. Okay. So yesterday was my birthday and there was this, on my Facebook, I noticed that someone wrote happy birthday on my Facebook. Okay. Like, I never really go and like look, but this person stood out to me because I met this guy when I was the summer between like 10th and 11th grade. I was like in high school and I was in a shared van from Newark or LaGuardia to JFK, from one New York airport to another. I met this guy, and the way I met him is he was reading the newspaper, and I was sitting next to him, and I asked if I could read his newspaper as well when he was done. He said yes. So then I started talking to this guy, and it turns out this guy was a freak of nature genius. He must have been like, I don't know. He was like young also in his teen, like maybe 18, 20. I don't know. He had gone to college when he was 13 years old. Okay. Wow. Then he went to work for Obama and became Obama's like big data whiz. And this was just at the turn of where big data was becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was the first person to be able to interpret massive amounts of data. And he did it for the Democratic Party. And this guy, we became friends on the shared cab ride with like a bunch of other people in the car. And then I saw him a few other times, like after that, when we were both living in New York, but then I never really heard from him again. And then right after Aiden died, there was a New York Times article written up about him. And it was fascinating. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that like this guy that I met in the car turned out to be the coolest guy ever and has these weird like rave parties that are Burning Man themed, and he runs this like successful like Democratic Party strategist operative. Like he's this big, really cool, fancy guy. He's had 2 New York Times articles written about him. Okay. And then I was so like, but obviously I didn't reach out to him because my son had just died, and I became nothing, and he became this guy that's really cool, and I'm nothing. But then I looked him up because yesterday he wrote happy birthday on my page, on my thing. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like this random stranger, like this is just so crazy. And guess what? Now I'm going to meet up with him and I'm going to see where he turns out and I turned out. And obviously I'm going to be like, you are way cooler than me. But the other day I was talking to my husband and said, who's the most famous person in your phone? And he said his dad, because his dad's a rabbi.
That's true though.
I was like, I literally couldn't think of anyone, I was like, I don't have any I don't know famous people. And then I realized, wait, this big data guy.
You have to tell them about our Dead Baby podcast.
Well, that's the only thing I've done. It's the only thing I've accomplished in my lifetime.
No, it's true.
I'm going to send you this article because I just couldn't believe it. It was the most random thing. I met this person and now he turned out to be so cool. Okay. Anyway, I got to go.
Send me the link and we'll put it in the description so our listeners can learn about this big guy. Big data guy.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Bye.
Happy New Year, everybody.
To all of our wonderful new friends, we want to hear from you. Email us at aslongasimlivingpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at aslongasimlivingpodcast. We'll get back to you as soon as our grieving brains allow. Yay!